What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy. Welcome to another Top 10 Music Countdown. And this time around, I'm kind of hoping to get this one out there right around Memorial Day, because that's kind of what I'm basing this countdown off of, what kind of inspired this one. So for this one, I'm kind of hoping to do my top 10 favorite songs about, like, soldiers in war. I would have specified just about soldiers, but I couldn't find enough that were really obviously and specifically dealing with just soldiers, so I expanded that out to include the general theme of war, in a sense. So anyway, basic gist of this countdown is that I'm, obviously only having one song per band, and I'm kind of ordering them based on how much they fit the theme, as well as kind of how much I like them. Generally the ones focused more so on soldiers specifically are going to be towards the end of this countdown. But anyway, just so you know a little bit of how I ranked these before going into it, I think that's really all more I have to explain with this countdown, so here we go. Let's just hop right on into this. So this is somewhat of an upbeat song that I kind of like listening to just because it's got a decent pace to it, but what really gets it on this list is just the general theme and the picture that it paints. It talks about a lot of fighting and basically makes you think of a war zone, but specifically talking about sort of a rescue mission in a sense, trying to, maybe capture a POW or just, rescue somebody who has been trapped in the middle of this war zone type scene.
With the guilt of 1,000 able soldiers, die. Watch the sight, usher me astray.
So I was a little torn with where to put this song on the list because it mentions war in the title, but if you really listen to what it's saying, it's not that much about war. It's just more so about kind of conflict between some people. So I just figured this spot on the list was kind of a safe place to put it. Didn't give it too much credit for being related to the theme, but also give it enough credit for the fact that I like the song and the fact that it at least kind of slightly mentions the theme. So, Freedom Fighter from Creed definitely has something to do with soldiers and war and that kind of stuff. It actually specifically mentions holy wars, so it might actually kind of be related to the old Crusades and that kind of stuff, but I don't want to read too much into that. It could just be a reference for the sake of poetry and music and that kind of stuff, but anyway. So, Freedom Fighter, definitely related to soldiers and war and that kind of stuff, so that's what gets it on this list.
This is wartime, this is our time, we won't be denied. Feed the fire that is raging inside. This is no time, this is showtime, we will fight till their wills are broken.
So there were a bunch of songs from Disturbed I could potentially have used for this, but I went with Immortalized because I think it was the most relevant to soldiers and war, and it specifically mentions even war and battles and fighting and all that kind of stuff. So that combined with the fact of how much I like the song, really, I think is what got it at its current placement on this list. So the song Frontline from Pillar can easily be talking about, physical battles and conflict, but I'm pretty sure if you pay attention to the lyrics, especially within the verses, it's talking more so about spiritual warfare. But in any case, it still talks about war, so it's definitely deserving of a place on this list, but since it's more so not on the physical side of things and not talking about any specific soldiers or anything, that I figured this was a good spot for it then.
There's no peace, only
Okay, so this is probably my favorite song on this list, just aside from the theme, but since it doesn't relate specifically to soldiers, I figured I'd leave it at number 5. So, yeah, again, really, really like this song, but just kind of generally about war and not soldiers specifically, so that's why I figured I'd go with number 5 for this song.
Uncle Sam taught him to shoot maybe a little too well. Finger on the trigger, loaded, ballin'. He hit the stage so full of rage and let the whole world know it. 6 feet away, they heard him say, "Oh God, don't let him pull it."
So this is honestly the last song that I thought about putting on this list, but then I heard that one particular line that you just heard in the clip, and it made me realize that it wasn't just talking about some random shooting in some neighborhood or whatever. It's talking specifically about a soldier who was likely dealing with some PTSD and all the complicated mental breakdowns that can cause within you. So, again, it might be a little bit of a stretch, but I figured because of that one particular line, that gets this song a place on the list.
Citizen soldiers holding the line for the ones that we guide from the dark of despair.
Okay, so these final 3 songs are the ones that really made me think of doing this list in the first place. This one, I can even remember hearing the song as part of some sort of commercial that I want to say was for like the Army Reserve or maybe the National Guard or something like that, but that, in addition to obviously the title of the song and the fact that it deals with soldiers and protecting people and all that kind of stuff, is what got this song at its current place on the list.
Like leather boots, spit shine so bright. They cut off my hair, but it looks alright.
Hero of War is kind of a depressing song, but it's also a very realistic look, I think, at what can happen for some soldiers, especially ones that were drafted as part of the old wars and that kind of stuff. Just the experiences that they went through and kind of going in thinking that, oh, hey, this isn't going to be so bad. I'll get to protect my country and also get paid for it. And, you know, they went into it with such a positive perspective on it, but then came out realizing that this is nowhere near what it's cracked up to be. So first off, this song reminds me of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, at least with the title. I don't know if that's what inspired this song, but that's what it makes me think of. And also, I really just like the poetic nature of it. It's got a lot of internal rhyming and that kind of stuff, which I'm a fan of. But also, just in terms of the general theme of it, I think the fact that it takes a look at the life of a soldier and just how that can kind of eat away at you and almost kind of numb you to a lot of things, I think really is what I like most about this song and what gets it at number 1 on this list. So there you have it. Those are my top 10 songs about soldiers and war. I'm sure there are others that are out there that I just don't have. So if you have any others that you know of, let me know down in the comments section. Also, feel free to look at the description for all the different ways to keep up and interact with me in my videos, stay updated when I post and that kind of stuff. That's really about all I've got to say, so I hope you're all doing well. Happy Memorial Day, everybody, and stay cool, people.